Hey peeps, in today AM Flow with Hang, my intention is for you to be better at forgiving. Being humans, I think is a great skills to have to successfully forgiving yourself and forgiving others, because what it does is it creates space to cultivate and deepen relationship with others, and also cultivate and deepen relationship with yourself. When you can truly forgive yourself or other, it gives you a sense of freedom inside. And if for some reason you are in the space in your life that you have been forgiving, you saying things that you're forgiving yourself or the other person, whoever it is in your life, because we all do things that cause tension and this regret and mistake in our life that, we wish that we can change the past, but we can't, right? And that's part of the forgiveness. Is a lot of time you have a hard time forgive is probably because this part of you still hold on to the hope that's the past could change, even though cognitively I know that you cannot, we cannot change the past, right? By understanding that, we can give our system a chance to get that, you cannot change the past, so to open to the possibility for forgiveness can happen. And it is a process, and chances are you probably attempt some degree to forgive yourself or the other person for whatever happens. It's irrelevant. Whatever happens happens, but what relevant is how you feel about it right now, because that's what we're dealing with. And you can say all day long you forgive the other person, but if the rest of your system doesn't agree, you're gonna feel that tug of war and that internal conflict, and that's exhausting, and it doesn't feel free in that. And that's why I'm inspired at this AM to make these videos, because I'm checking it every time. Okay, what am I inspired to connect with you right now on this? And I believe this can be a great piece for you, and probably a great reminder for me to go through this process too, because I could use more of deepen the learning of forgiving myself and others. Being a naturally wholehearted high achiever, you're very hard on yourself. So there's things I'm sure that you've done that you haven't truly forgive yourself. So first thing that I'm inviting you to do is connect yourself to that person's, and that person could be you, about the situation that you've been trying to forgive. Connect to that and give yourself an assessment of 0 to 10 of how intense do you feel about that situation. And it can feel overwhelming, because that feeling could be resentment, that feeling could be anger, that feeling could be hurt, a combination of all of it. But what chances are you're gonna feel negatively in your body. There's like a stickiness, a tension in your body that you don't even want to go there. So the first step is to identify the residual energy that your body's still carrying about that situation. And it could be not even what you feel, the resistance to going there. So whatever it is, it's really important to give yourself that space to be with that truth. And once you identify it from 0 to 10, once you identify where you feel in your body, chances are it's still there. And no matter how much you say you forgive that person, that thing gonna take over. So then the next step is to give yourself space and time to let that energy be released. Now, how you do it is going to be very depend on your experience, depend on how much work you have done. And some of you may not be able to do it by yourself. So this is where I'm inviting you to ask for somebody else to help you hold the space for you, a healer, a coach, a teacher, a therapist, to help you move through this, because a lot of time it's very uncomfortable to sit with that. But the idea is to identify it, and two, to make space and time to allow this energy to move through from 10 to at least 1, 0 to 1. When that energy at a 1 and 0, that when you can set the intention to truly forgive, or at least let the system to truly forgive. And you're going to notice that when you get to a 1, you can say, I forgive, and it feels true. But if you add a 9 or a 10, like whether you do EFT or sitting, do positive affirmations, or do consciousness observing, whatever it is, it's very hard to forgive, to force that. So you gotta let that energy move through, in and out, and let your body lead you. And if some of you need some guidance, you can find one of my videos that I talk about the love framework. A love framework is one of the way that I help my client, or I sit through the process to let these energy release. You can use EFT, you can use EMDR, you can use this. There's so many different methods. And if none of those things resonate working with you right now, the best thing you can do is sit and try relax and create space in that discomfort and let that energy move through you. But the idea, remember, is to assess, to give us a number so you know where you're working on, and bring it down to 0 and 1. Not think that it's going to be 0 1, that you actually feel it's down to 0 1. Then you can say, I forgive myself, or I forgive XYZ for doing that. And you can let it clear out. And then once you get to 0, automatically there's going to be a shift in perspective. And that's when you are truly forgive someone. But in the process, you will release resentment, you will release hurt, you will release anger, frustration, guilt, shame, whatever it is that bottle up in this body, that need to be released before the true forgiveness can happen. And that's when you truly let go of the hope that the past could change. Because let me be the devil advocate and said this, that you cannot change the past. Let me be that reminder. And whatever happened. You probably gave your best, done the best you could, and the other person too, and the best that he or she could. And this is where it at. And able to give yourself the grace and the compassion and the space of true acceptance of what is. So I hope that helped. And is sitting in this process easy? No. If you need support, please trust your AM of who come in your life. And if I am one of those person, ask for an application to apply for a heart-to-heart conversation. Maybe I can help you move through this, or maybe somebody else. It doesn't really matter who, as long as you find the right help for you to help you move through it. Okay? All right, guys, that's all I got at the moment. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being in this humble community that I'm creating. And if you feel this video is helpful for someone, please share with that person. You know, and if you haven't already, subscribe and set a notification, and we'll let you know when the next video will come out at my AM. All right, sending you a big hugs from me to you, and from Hawaii to wherever you are in the world. Aloha.